Hi, my name is Joanna Molina. I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience taking the Ollin Girls curriculum with Marcia. So some of the things I learned in this curriculum was how to read data properly. These are things that I have learned about in school, but in school they didn't go into detail the way that Marcia did. And also, one of the things that Marcia showed us was how to tell when the data is not being given to us in the full scope of the data, when they're just presenting numbers to us. So that's really useful for me in my line of work, because I have access to data that people usually don't have access to. Also, I'm able to make recommendations to change certain things in the system. So that was one of the things that I really enjoyed learning, and I put it to use in my line of work. I actually work for the county, and for an elected official who has a say in policymaking. So I was able to give him information on that, and track the numbers and ask the probation department real questions, and hold them accountable with that knowledge. Another thing that I learned that was very useful for me was the history behind the juvenile justice system, who created it, when, why, for what purpose, who it affects, which is mostly kids of color. So that was really useful for me because that's not something I learned in school, and definitely not in my job. So that's one of the things that also became really helpful for me in this curriculum. Another thing I learned was the history behind the probation department. Another way that the system holds back youth of color. So I would really encourage system impacted youth to take this course, system impacted youth leaders to take this course, because the combination of personal experience with the being system impacted, the combination of being system impacted and having the knowledge to hold the system accountable is really dangerous for the system. And that's what we need. If our goal is to end the incarceration of youth of color, then that's what we need. We need more youth of color, not only at the forefront of this, but to be informed and to have the knowledge to ask the right questions, to hold the system accountable, to shut it down. So one of the things I really enjoyed about the curriculum was the sisterhood of it. The kinship that we formed, the group of women that would meet, all with the same goal, to use this knowledge in our line of work to end the incarceration of youth. And we all had different lines of work. But like I said, we came together for one goal, and that was to end the incarceration of youth. So it was really, it was inspiring having a group of women of color taking this on. So I would encourage you to take this course if you have those goals in mind. If you've been system impacted, and even if you haven't been system impacted, chances are that as a person of color, you've had friends, family members, kids who've been system impacted, and it's up to us to get the knowledge, the education, the right education. I don't just mean school education, but the right education, like this curriculum, that gives us the information on how to shut the systems down. So yeah, I encourage you to take the Ollin Girls curriculum.